Section 3, Specialized Project Management. We're starting the final section of this lecture. These are documents that are less general for all careers and situations. They're definitely a lot more specialized to circumstances and roles inside of technical fields. First is incident reports, for when a shit goes down. So incident reports, accident reports, there's other names they might have, I suppose, are basically just there to describe any event that needs a record, that paper trail, usually for liability, safety, or reporting standards. The common reasons are because of an accident, or if you have damaged equipment, whether because you broke it or you just came in that morning and it was broken, or for trauma at work, HR violations, sexual harassment, discrimination, really any unsafe, hostile, toxic work environments. If anything like that happens to you, find your company or organization's incident reports and policies just to make sure that gets documented clearly. Now, most places have the form and reporting procedures established because they are so important. Honestly, red flag if the company doesn't. For almost any business, you will need to detail and write as exactly as possible a few pieces of information. First, it's things like the date and location. So usually they need to know where at work, was it the field site, in the break room, the client's office, it happened. Check the time as soon as the incident happens if you can, and try to get the minute, or at least the nearest quarter hour. Second, you'll probably have to do things like parties involved. It could be the other people, but it could also just be like equipment. And then you'll also need to think about the outcome. So basically just making sure you have a really good, clear, rich description of what went down, especially if something is damaged or someone was hurt. You'll need to explain what you or they were doing when it broke, any noises the equipment was making, other external factors. Did a dust storm kick up at the site, or did an alarm go off? Elements of the environment, was it really dark, whatever. Just try to get everything down that you can. Incident reports are here to guide any investigations, identify patterns of concern, and prevent future issues. For example, if you were following the steps in your SOP when the event occurred, that could be an indication that we need to revise the user manual or adjust your station setup. And then if you did get hurt, usually workers' compensation and HR requires the incident report to be filed within a pretty short time period as that official record. As an example from UCCS, they start with who is the person filing with space for name, role, and email address. Then they ask, where it happened. So they want the building on campus and the room number or area, like was it the grilling pit at Alpine Village or whatever. Next, the form fields are for the date and the time, which they request specific month, day, year, and the 12-hour clock format, so AM/PM structure. After that, we fill in the parties involved with contact information if known. That section is not required because your incident might not have other parties, like if you caught the grill on fire or you just slipped in the shower or something. Then they get into the details. Select what type of incident, from things like injury to fire alarms to theft and damage. Your company might have one report that's specifically for, sexual harassment and discrimination things, and a whole different report that's just for equipment damage. Or it could be all in one report like this one, where we have things like property damage in the same list with options like personal injury. It just depends on your company. And then, you can just put who was contacted, police, counseling, the ambulance, etc. And we have a space for a description at the bottom. So here's where you would write out, in more of that narrative form. It's an open box. So you explain all of those details about the environment and the steps and the external context of the incident. All right, those are incident reports. Let's turn to happier situations.